Today, we are going to look at the digestive system and how foods get digested. Parts of the body work together to turn food and liquids into the fuel that your body needs. As you can see, is a picture of different parts of the body that plays a role in digesting our food. And now we're going to take a closer look at how our body digests the foods that we eat. Digestion begins in your mouth. When you begin to eat, saliva or spit forms in your mouth and breaks down the chemicals in the food a bit, which helps the food become mushy and easier to swallow. Your tongue also helps, and when you're ready to swallow, the tongue pushes the tiny mushed up food called bolus. So the mushed up food called bolus toward the back of your throat and into the opening of your esophagus, which is the second part of the digestive tract. The esophagus is a stretchy pipe that's about 10 inches long. It moves the food from the back of your throat to your stomach. Also at the back of your throat is your windpipe, which allows air to come in and out of your body. When you swallow food or liquids, a special flap called the epiglottis flops down over the opening of your windpipe to make sure the food enters the esophagus and not the windpipe. If you were to drink too fast and begin to cough, sometimes people may say that it went down the wrong way, when in fact it went down your windpipe by mistake. And the epiglottis is there to help prevent food or liquids to get into your windpipe or into your lungs. Once the food enters the esophagus, muscles in the walls of the esophagus move in a wavy way to slowly squeeze the food through the esophagus, which takes 2 to 3 seconds, and into your stomach. Your stomach is attached to your esophagus. It is a stretchy sac shaped like the letter J. The stomach has 3 important jobs: stores the food you have eaten, to break down the food into a liquidy mixture, and to slowly empty that liquidy mixture into the small intestine. The stomach is like a mixer turning and mashing together all the food that comes down the esophagus into smaller and smaller pieces. It does this with the help from strong muscles in the walls of the stomach and gastric juices that also come from the stomach's walls. Gastric juices not only break down food, but also helps kill bacteria that might be in the food that we eat. And next on the digestive tract is the small intestine. The small intestine is a long tube that's about 1.5 inches to 2 inches around and is packed inside you beneath your stomach. If you stretch out an adult small intestine, it would be about 22 feet long. Small intestine breaks down the food mixture even more so your body can absorb all the vitamins, minerals, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. The small intestine can help extract these proteins and minerals and fats with the help of the pancreas, liver, and gallbladder. These organs send different juices to the first part of the small intestine. These juices help digest food and allow the body to absorb nutrients. The pancreas makes juices that help the body digest fat and protein. The liver, which is right here, helps to absorb fats into the bloodstream. These juices from the liver are called bile. The gallbladder, which is right here, serves as a warehouse for the bile. It stores it until the body needs it. Food may spend 4 hours in the small intestine and will become very thin, watery mixture. And the next step for the nutrients is the liver, which is right here. And the leftover waste, or the parts of the food that your body can't use, goes into the large intestine. The large intestine, which is right along here, is 3 to 4 inches around, which is fatter than the small intestine. It is packed into the body like the small intestine. It would measure out to be 5 feet long if spread out. The large intestine has a tiny tube with a closed end coming off it called the appendix, which is right here. The appendix is part of the digestive tract, but does not seem to do much, though it can cause problems because it can get infected and then it needs to be removed. After most of the nutrients are removed from the food mixture, there is waste left over, which is stuff that your body cannot use. And this waste needs to be passed out of the body. And can you guess where it ends up? Before it goes, it passes through the part of the large intestine called the colon. The colon, which is where the body gets its last chance to absorb the water and some minerals into the blood. As the water leaves the waste product, what's left gets harder and harder as it keeps moving along until it becomes a solid. Yes, it is poop, also called stool or bowel movement. The large intestine pushes the poop into the rectum, which is the very last stop on the digestive tract. The solid waste stays here until you're ready to go to the bathroom. And when you go to the bathroom, you're getting rid of the solid waste by pushing it through the anus. The digestive system is an important part of your body. Without it, you wouldn't be able to get the nutrients you need to grow properly and stay healthy.